Okay, so we've got SKS Cartoon says the difference of the right and the left in a nutshell. Elon Musk retweeted this saying true. And the Charlie Kirk Memorial is someone holding a candle. The Alex Preddy Memorial is someone holding a Molotov cocktail. I would like to see...
Well, somebody drew a picture of it, so it must be true.
Where is your example of someone throwing a Molotov cocktail in memory of Alex Preddy?
Yeah.
I'll even give you just in Minnesota. Has anyone done Molotov cocktails? Now,
Kim says they probably stole the picture. Yeah, probably.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if this was just AI generated.
I mean, it's Musk. He does kind of do that a lot.
But yeah, no, I'm actually concerned with what's going on in Minnesota. I am afraid that it's only a matter of time until someone brings a Molotov cocktail or something similar to the protest.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, it would be incredibly cathartic for a moment, but that is going to give them the excuse that they need. So that is something that I am very frightened of.
Well, because that's what happened during George Floyd. Because during the George Floyd protests...
By the way, I don't think we mentioned this when we talked about Renee Good, but she was shot less than a 5-minute drive away from where George Floyd was killed.
Yeah, weird. Weird coincidences. But this same shit happened with George Floyd protests, where as they spread across the country, there were a handful of protests that got out of hand and turned into riots. And, to be fair, some of those protests got out of hand because the cops struck first. Yeah. The cops actively fucking agitated.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the one that closest to me? There was the Buffalo protest. Mm-hmm. The cop pushed an old man onto the ground.
Yep. Fractured his skull, didn't he?
And his ear was bleeding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that was one of the things that happened. It is a standard operating procedure for protests to get out of hand because agitators have come in and fucked it up. Either they have done it from the inside, because we saw during the George Floyd protests, pallets of bricks were being put down in locations where protests were being scheduled. By the way, this is one of the reasons why the idea that your protest needs to be scheduled and needs to be filed with the proper authorities should just be considered a First Amendment violation. I'm sorry, but that shit was happening there because the right wing love the idea of the left trying to get violent, because then it makes them feel like they can justify being fucking heroes. Jake Lang's friend, whatever I forget the dude's name. I did a video on him recently, and I don't remember his name because he's the dude who was holding the American flag and yelling, saying, "I am here, boots on the ground, in my bunker." My God, you don't know what the fuck one of those two words means. You cannot be both of those, you little piss baby.
So Anslin says, no Molotov cocktails for me, but I have a suggestion for what each ICE member can do with a cactus.
The Superman movie also has a suggestion for that, too.
I haven't seen it yet.
You need to. But,
so I've been told.
But let me see here. I think Dark says that's how they organized their protest. When I worked at a university, Nazis tried to organize a day to stone Jews and set out a bunch of bags of rocks for the event because they thought people would all just do it. Ugh.
Renee Good, a 37-year-old.
Oh, that's Jose.
That's Jose.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
I have.
Okay, because I was just going to mention that.
I love Jose's content.
Well, so you were making me think of it, and I was going to refer to the guy with the Blue Jay logo, and I didn't know if you knew his name. So
I know
I was
Jose.
I should probably find that out before I start talking. He just released a video on Nick Shirley.
Jaden Scott, that's who it was. Jaden Scott was the dude who was LARPing. He apparently started doxing people and started showing up to their fucking houses if he found out that they were near protest areas recently. The right loves fucking agitating. It's stupid as shit.
Yeah, and then they will complain that, they doxed the poor agent who is the victim of having to have shot someone.
Yeah, it's...
But have you seen the Nick Shirley video on Jose's channel?
I think I saw the first 25, because it's an hour long, right? It's the hour long video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the first half hour of it.
So if you're not familiar, Nick Shirley is the guy who went to all these daycare centers in Minnesota with a camera crew and then was like, why won't they let me in the daycare center? And then was like, oh, it must be fraud because they won't let me into their daycare center.
It has to be fraud because I harassed a bunch of people and threw papers in their face.
Yeah. And he also like went after hours and was like, why isn't anyone here? Like, because they're fucking closed. That's why. And the ones that he went to that wasn't after hours, they didn't let him in because he's some guy that showed up with a camera crew asking to film the children.
Yeah, that's
obviously not.
You don't like the irresponsible thing would have been letting you in because that no.
Yeah, so in this video he goes over a bunch of like podcast appearances that Nick Shirley has done. The guy just knows nothing about he knows jack about shit. It's so pathetic. But people have latched onto him because he went to these daycare centers and exposed them for the frauds that they are.
He's exposing the truth. That makes him cool. No. Stop. You don't know what an investigation looks like, but you think when somebody is doing something that looks kind of sort of like what your idea of an investigation
is that he's got the aesthetic of an investigation without doing any of the actual investigative work.
Correct.
Like he didn't even know, like people would ask him very basic softball questions that anyone who actually did any amount of investigation into the thing that he's supposedly investigating would know the answer to. And it's stuff like in follow-up videos, he went like to a health complex and he was like, oh, all these places, their signs say that they do the same thing. Why are all these businesses that do the same thing sharing office space? But then Jose was like, yeah, no, I Googled those things. They actually do different things. So they share office space because that's very common in medical things. You don't, like, medical buildings exist where everybody that's in there is a medical thing. I don't know what to tell you. That's just how it works.
Says, so right-wing journalistic cosplay? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what it is. It's the thing that Tim Pool used to do a lot of that got him his first bit of fame. Was doing the whole I'm going boots on the ground. I'm gonna go into the dangerous areas, and then like it makes them look like they're doing legitimate work.
Yeah. I don't know that this is going to. So I'm going to make a prediction. I would not be surprised if my prediction fails and it ages like milk or whatever, but I do not predict that Nick Shirley is actually going to last in the right-wing pseudo-newsosphere. I feel like he doesn't have the charisma, and I'm saying that knowing that Tim Pool is someone who made it big in the right-wing newsosphere.
And he's kind of a charisma vacuum.
Yeah. So like he's got less charisma than Tim Pool. So I feel like he's not going to make it, but I would not be surprised if I am wrong in that prediction.
We will see. Ultimately, the thing that scares me most with this shit is the fact that I got into this when I did my like Facebook misinformation video recently. It scares me that I live in a country where I breathe the same air as people who cannot do even the smallest modicum of research at all before coming up with their opinions. For instance, when I did the video, it was on the Alex Preddy misinformation shit that was going around about him being fired for sexually harassing people at his hospital, something that didn't happen, that we actually like...
We know he did the opposite.
We know he did the opposite of that. Especially when the articles that talked about it said things like Alex Preddy, 42, declined to comment.
Okay, so it's written by AI, though.
So the 37-year-old who's now 42 declined to comment as a corpse? Shocking. Yeah, I wasn't aware that you had gained the resurrection spell.
It is.
But... Like,
yeah, that's bullshit.
But people in the comment section couldn't even click the article to read it to figure out if it was bunk. The smallest amount of effort couldn't have gone into it.
This was a written article?
This was a written article.
Hot take, I'm going to say people in the comments didn't read the whole article.
No, they never do. They
Like,
never do.
I had a guy. If you don't know, I have a shorts channel, Vice Rhino Shorts, and I've started posting there again because if I post shorts to the main channel, it tanks the analytics of my regular videos. But it's hard to exist on YouTube without doing shorts nowadays. So I'm trying to upkeep that. And I did one where I went through Deuteronomy 28, which is all the curses that God will lay upon you for disobedience. And it's a whole bunch of bullshit like, oh, you'll be sick, you'll be inflicted with pestilence, people will invade you, and like armies will invade you and conquer you. You'll like so many bad things, and eventually it gets to like, oh yeah, and also God is going to make someone rape your wife as punishment for your disobedience.
I told you they were cucks.
Yeah, but someone in the comments was like, "Oh no! It's like these are just like it's just natural consequence things. So like you know, if you eat something that's infected with like parasites and stuff, you're gonna get sick. That's what happens. You get so sick that these things happen. So it's really just trying to keep you safe by like if you obey the dietary laws and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What food could I eat that will cause my wife to get raped? And then the person was like, "Oh well, what verse are you saying is dealing with rape? Because rape." And then he gives the apologetic for
the
like
actual
how rape
verse.
is actually a thing. It's like, I said it in the video. Did you not watch the less than 60-second video? Like it's less than a minute. It doesn't take a lot of your time to actually watch the thing and not sound like an idiot because you know, you think that I'm talking about the rape laws that are elsewhere in the Bible, which are also heinous and immoral, but like he's using the wrong apologetic against the one I'm talking about now.
Yeah, it's...
Anyway, Content 83 redeemed a hydrate. I should probably do that.
Fuck says it annoys me so much when news slander slanders or libels a person as if it justifies a killing, but they did it to Renee Good. They're doing it to Alex Preddy. Like it is a frustrating thing to deal with when there's no reason to do it. Do you know how much easier and
news is so infuriating.
Do you know how much easier and smoother it is to exist through life if you don't tell a bunch of fucking lies? Do you know how much easier it is to not have to keep track of 1 billion stories you tell people? Do you know how much easier it is to operate that way? Why would you not want that?
That's why I don't lie.
Like
it's so much harder to remember what. But no, like the fucking news, like even the left wing news, like CNN and shit, is treating this like, you know, like oh, DHS is completely lying about what happened, and we have video evidence saying that they are lying about what happened, but we're gonna treat both sides as being equally credible here. It's like no, you don't have to. You can just be like, hey. This person's clearly lying. Anyway, on to the next news item.
Sarah Chikorita points out that CNN hasn't been left-wing for years. Correct, but...
It left compared to the other media.
Yeah, in regards to the Overton window of the media landscape, CNN was directly stated as Murdoch's reason for founding Fox News. He wanted a competitor for CNN. The billionaire who founded Fox News saw CNN as left enough to need a right-wing competitor. I understand it is not ostensibly left-wing, as in it's neoliberal, which is a centrist-y position on the economic scale. I get that, but for the Overton window of America, it is. Ravenluck says, "Oh hey, I know you. Hi, how's it going? Where do you know me from? I'm scared now."
I don't know him.
Are you in my walls? Thank you for the follow. But like seriously, are you in my walls?
I can see your bald spot now.
Said I'm friends with Nyara. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, that's okay.
But they're also in your walls.
You might also be in my walls, but Nyara's probably in a dog bed.
Okay, I'm not going to investigate that.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagittarius, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.